All right, welcome in to Vision Pros Live. With Jackson Callum, I'm your show host. We will be doing interviews for visionary entrepreneurs and guest leaders who are building fantastic visions out there. Anything else you'd like to know or anything you'd like to teach me about your experience, best podcast experience you've had, or ways we can maximize this?
Thank you for asking. I care about having a genuine conversation about real people and real life. I think, especially in the realm of financial advice is so much gimmick. And as I tell you my story, my failure story, you're going to hear that theme of when you're desperate and you don't know what to do and you go ask the people that should know and you don't hear it. It is so demoralizing and it leaves somebody feeling like they are lost and there's nowhere to turn. And so whenever I have the opportunity to really talk about the real thing, like the thing behind the thing, like what's actually going on, that's my preference. So if you want to ask, if you want to go deep, if you want it to be spiritual, we can be spiritual. If we want it to be just business, it can be just business. But there is an interconnection of us as beings and our purpose and our finances. And those things can't really change unless we begin to actually address the heart issues. And I'm willing to talk about it. Maybe almost to the level of like ridiculous. So
I like
my preference would be to have a real conversation. Like I don't want to talk about gimmicks or sound bites. Not interested.
Yeah, 100%. I like ridiculous, by the way. I guess I'm a big fan of crazy. And it's there's a lot of purpose that's built within that. So I love your style. Love where you're headed with that. My thought process. One, I do want to bring you back for a longer show. I think that would be very fruitful because you got a huge depth to you, and so we can cover a lot more ground, and we can still split that into shorter segments as well. I'm thinking that if you're okay with it, even some of this content I would love to use, and repurpose just our conversation for lots of purposes. One, some of the sound bites that you just gave, right? They do matter. Even the sound bite about no sound bites, it's like, oh yeah, we push it on. On my side, I could repurpose this as a pre-qualifying. Like, how do these conversations behind the scenes go, and how do we help hosts dive in with more dynamic? We work very closely with Podmatch. Is that how we met?
That's how we met. Yeah.
Yeah. I about tackled Alex. I was this close to tackling Alex at Podfest, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I thought you were going to tackle me," and then we almost fell.
I think it's such a wonderful service. Just kind of as you were talking about distribution, like this is, I mean, I know I'm being recorded, but between you and I have felt like my own voice and the things that I am supposed to talk to people about in the world have been really hamstrung to just who I know in the world. And I've done the thing where I've hired the right marketing gurus or done the things where I actually feel like it ends up being kind of like the emperor's new clothing, where it's like where they put something on you invisibly and you're like, you're supposed to love this. Did you see what I just did for you? And I'm like, no, I feel naked actually. So I have been so frustrated just as a human, where it's like I know that I have a message and a vision that changes businesses inside out, which changes the trajectory of a family and their financial security. It makes all the difference. And yet I compete in this marketplace with my voice for the just go make another $1 million. Like, so I just wanted to say thank you for holding space for a genuine conversation and caring about that more than just the numbers. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it's been a hard road as well. Like I had to learn these things the hard way. Being the integrator, that wasn't appreciated, not because I was working with bad people, but because when everybody's dealing with a scarcity mindset, and is surviving, it's really hard to appreciate, and to live in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at a transformational level. And entrepreneurship is so hard. I wish that if I could change one thing about the world permanently and just like boop, make it happen for business sake, it would be every single keynote speech at every business conference would be about infrastructure.
Why that?
And you've never heard that, have you?
No.
Right? No, nobody talks about it. And it's like, let's find every way to say, okay, we can make it easy. We can make it simple. We can make it fast. We can make it, a guarantee. How many alternative ways can we possibly get around saying this is a get rich quick scheme?
Yeah, no kidding.
How many possible ways can we reinvent saying that while saying we're not get rich quick? I mean, our country is so addicted to get rich quick. And we won't, until it's like Alcoholics Anonymous, until you're willing to admit and own like that you have a problem. It's like we're gonna suffer that problem. So I don't mean to get on a soapbox on it as much as the nice thing is it's not as hard as people think. The word's hard to spell, but creating infrastructure, it's not any harder than the entrepreneur route, than the solopreneur space. It's not any harder. Life is just as hard if you're 2% body fat than if you're overweight. Life is just as hard. It's not about getting over the fact that it's hard. It's like, how do I do things right? How do I do things a way that's going to result in my best life? And that's why Vision Pros exists, is because I want to help visionaries have a place to bring what they see to the table, their perspectives, so that more of us can see like, oh, cool, that perspective's helpful. I relate more to Leanne than I do to Jackson. I relate more to Dr. Brissell, and I do to both them. And it's been such an honor to hear how people are looking at things and seeing it. But I can say that, again, I need most of my entrepreneurs that I work with, Leanne, they need somebody like you to come in and to evaluate what I can't see, because the infrastructures are too large for any one person to be able to know what to do with it. And if you don't have the right types of executive beings by your side, the people who are going to get after it, get it done, make things happen, know what reports to run, know what data is supposed to be actionable, which data is just good to have for now until the 10-year markets. There's so many things that can overwhelm the entrepreneur and kill their dream and kill their vision that I've just seen it. It takes a team. It takes a team of really, really wise people.
It does. You're right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is my biggest vision, but I will say this. Most entrepreneurs are living in entrepreneurial poverty. And that poverty is deeply rooted in a mindset. I call them these money instincts. But it's amazing to me that as I've worked with businesses of all shapes and sizes for the last 16 years, primarily focused on, hey, what's going on with your money? But as I've done that, definitely have started to, I've seen over time that there is an element of what you actually believe when you accidentally started a business. And when you think about just our country alone and how most people, just normal average Janes and Joes, have no idea what to do with money. We're just not taught financial competency. And then we have this idea that if we just make a lot of money, our financial problems will go away. And so the draw of entrepreneurialism makes a lot of sense. That get rich quick, I'm going to be the 2%, like all of that is a draw it's intoxicating. And then we get into it. We have no idea how to run a business. We have no idea how to read a financial statement. That's okay. I don't think you have to know how to do that to succeed, but we just don't know. And so most entrepreneurs are living in entrepreneurial poverty to the extent that they're the worst paid people on staff. The people working for them are making more money than they are. And this has massive impact on the family unit, has massive impact on financial security, how we raise our children. And so there's a trickle down effect of if the business doesn't succeed, or if I don't succeed in my business, it impacts my marriage, it impacts how I parent, it impacts all these things. And yet nobody talks about it because it's a dirty little secret. Entrepreneurs really, truly believe that if they were honest, I was that person. Jackson, let me tell you, it still makes me cringe when I tell anybody that will listen. how I had $1,100,000 disaster on my hands, like a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to be comfortable telling that story because deep down, I'm an American. Deep down, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm successful, but I really believe that nobody will ever talk to me again if they really know how it actually was. And that's how business owners are. We just think nobody will do business with us. I have to fake it till I make it. I have to present and posture all the success. And yet I can't pay my mortgage. It's not great.
If I could throw flowers at you virtually, like through the screen, if this would be the thing. I'm twice divorced, Leanne.
Are you?
I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone homeless. I know what you're talking about. I've consulted long enough that, the 96% that fell within 10 years, until you've consulted as long as you and I have and talked to enough business owners, it's very easy to make the assumption that the 4% are crushing it.
Yeah.
But then you start to ask them and talk to them and have enough conversations, you realize that the 4% have survived the 10-year mark. Most of them have more debt. Most of them have higher risk tolerance. But as you talked about, their families are no longer talking to them very much. Everything feels kind of stale. That failed book launch was the last investment that the spouse wants to see happen again. The desire to be on a TED Talk, is high, but they're still churning through these challenges that even if they land the TED Talk, which would be the worst case scenario, they're going to end up at the bottom of the views list. And when you end up at the bottom of the views list, everybody feels sorry for you because you did a piss poor job on planning out and building that particular asset that's now permanently registered on YouTube, with your book that has 3 reviews. And everybody's wondering, why didn't your siblings review the book? Where's your market at? So these are the challenges that, yes, I'm also very pragmatic and open about. I'm like, no, this is not meant for the faint of heart. It's difficult. And it's something that is solvable. That's the beauty of it. Is there's an optimism around this. It's solvable. But you have to figure out the variables. If you fail to build a bridge over and over and over and over by yourself, and you're like, hey, I didn't work with an architect on this. I didn't work with an engineer on this. It's like, maybe here's your sign. Go work with the people who know how to build this. And so, again, thank you for being so raw and real. I'm gonna have my team put something together to send to you privately.
Okay.
To see if we want to use some of this, because this has been gold.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a vision pro yourself.